to protect the innocent.
Know them. Sergeant Joe Thursday. He's a cop. He carries a badge. And if you try to give him too many details, he'll tell you he just wants the facts. Basically a good-hearted cop who wants to get to the bottom of things. And there's Officer Frank Cannon, the typical comedic sidekick cop who finds humor in all things. Also, not one to beat about the bush. Frank is serious about the important things, like solving celestial disturbances and eating. Throw in a hot-headed perk, some kings and shepherds, a young family, and an overcrowded inn, and you've got the attention of these two cops. What's going to happen? Let's find out as the Presby Players present Bethlehem PD.
Yes.
There are a million stories in the big city, and Bethlehem, while it's not that big, is no exception. There are people, and there are rules to be followed. And when one of those people break one of those laws, that's where I come in. The name's Thursday, Joe Thursday. I carry a badge. The story you are about to hear is true. The names have not been changed to protect the innocent because that would just be silly. Besides, sometimes the facts need to be told. My partner Frank and I were working late one Monday night when the call came in. There had been a disturbance at one of the local inns, and we had gone in to clear that up, and we're in the process of processing a couple of the perpetrators. You see, a census had been called, and all of the people from David's lineage had come pouring into town like cheap wine. The overcrowding was driving everybody a little nuts.
Where did you steal that hat? So, the overcrowding was a little, there wasn't any room left at the inn you went to and you lost your temper?
That foul-smelling donkey clerk of an offspring messed up my reservations.
So you felt it would help your cause to hit him over the head with a camel whip?
Well, in retrospect, maybe it wasn't such a good idea.
Perhaps not. Have a seat over there, Mr. Bartholomew, while I finish your paperwork. Looks like it's going to be a long day, Joe.
Long night, Frank. It's almost 11:15 now.
What? If it's that late, why is it so bright out?
You've got a point. It's almost like daylight out there. Must be a full moon.
No, it's not a full moon, Joe. It's that star over there.
Oh, you got a point, Frank. Could be right. That's the brightest star I've ever seen.
Me too, Joe. How come we never noticed that before?
Probably the same reason we never noticed that bright cluster of singing angels.
What bright cluster of singing angels?
Over there, just under the star, south of the new Greek fast food place, Jehovah's Gyros.
Oh, wow.
It's something, all right.
I'll say, a large order of baklava for only 99 shekels? How come we never noticed that before, Joe?
Like I said, Frank, it's new. Come on, we better go check out that 4937.
4937, Joe?
A celestial disturbance of the peace. Come on, Frank. After stopping to grab a bucket of baklava, we arrived at the scene of the 4937. By the time we arrived, the bright lights had disappeared. There was a large gathering of shepherds in a clearing, however, so Frank and I were able to move in and begin our investigation.
Okay, what's going on here?
Wow, did you see them?
See what, sir?
Well, we were just tending our sheep when all of a sudden,
Sheep?
yeah, sheep, we're shepherds.
I don't see any sheep.
I think the angels must have scared them off.
Angels? I don't see any angels.
No, they're gone to see the baby,
Baby?
Yeah, a baby king.
wrapped in swaddling clothes.
Lying in a manger.
I don't see any baby.
No, the baby's in Bethlehem, under the star.
Star? I don't see any... Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that star.
Uh-huh. And you've seen this baby.
Well, not yet. The angels just told us he was there, but we're going now.
Not so fast. You say those angels took your sheep?
Well, no. They probably just got frightened and ran away.
Did you follow them?
Well, no, if a bunch of angels started singing to you, would you worry about some sheep?
I would if I were a shepherd.
Frank, it sounds like these angels may have created a diversion just to make off with about 4 tons of leg of lamb.
It's the perfect time to unload it, too, right before the holidays.
Listen, we like to stay and chat, but we like to go and see the baby the angels were singing about.
Well, I suppose we've got all we need for now. Just don't leave town anytime too soon. We may have a few more questions.
In the meantime, we'll keep an eye out for your sheep.
Oh, they'll probably just come home.
Yeah, wagging their tails behind them. Go tell it to Mary.
Who?
Oh, never mind. But you know, Frank, there is something about this that bothers me already.
What's that, Joe?
For a bunch of shepherds, they sure don't seem to be very concerned about their sheep.
Well, Joe, they were obviously very excited.
Maybe, but just the same, I'm not going to let them pull the wool over my eyes. After stopping back at the office to file a 1422, that's a missing sheep report, Frank and I decided to check out the shepherd's story. It wasn't that difficult to do. We just followed the star past the Greek restaurant and to a little inn. We stopped on the way for a couple of pita value meals.
Man, Joe, I love that new Greek place. I wonder if they deliver.
Don't be silly, Frank. Everyone knows the way that place keeps their prices so low is they don't pay their help enough to cover the cost of delivery.
Really? How much does a Grecian earn?
Knock on the door, Frank. Hey, Frank, you've got cucumber in your teeth.
Hello? Let's go back to that Greek place, Joe. I don't think anyone...
I was going to say, did you enjoy that pita?
Yeah, I love that place.
Oh boy. Sorry, we're full.
Not a very friendly place, Joe. I wonder if they have good rates.
You'll have to come
them back in March. I said we're full. Now beat it.
Bethlehem PD, ma'am. We'd like to ask you a few questions.
Police? Wow. Over a couple of stolen towels?
No towel, ma'am. We just wanted to ask some questions about the star.
The star? What star?
The one over your inn.
Well, what do you know?
Are we to assume that you know nothing about this star?
Well, no, should I?
I suppose not, but it would make our jobs a whole lot easier.
How so?
We're looking for a baby.
You too?
Let me guess. Shepherds?
A whole flock of them. About a half hour ago. They're still out back with a lady who just had a baby.
So there is a baby. Out back? Out back where?
Well, I told you we were full. Have been for a week. So I told them they could stay in the stable out back.
Let me see if I get this straight. A lady shows up here, says she's going to have a baby, and you show her to the barn?
Well, we didn't have any rooms.
Charming. You have any chickens back there?
Well, sure, why?
I thought maybe you'd tell her to help herself to a couple eggs, then you could charge her at the bed and breakfast rate.
Now,
Was the woman alone?
her husband's with her. Look, I didn't know she was going to have it right away. I was hoping a room would open up.
Yeah, of course. Did these people say where they were from?
Why, yes. I heard them tell my husband they were from Nazareth.
Nazareth? Joe, that's more than 50 miles from here. In her condition? Is she okay?
Well, I don't know. I haven't been back there.
You what?
Listen, I told you. We're very busy looking after our guests.
Oh, I'm sure. Listen, lady, I'd have a mind to run you in on a 354.
A 354?
Renting out a stable without a license. Can we see them? I'd like to ask them a few questions.
They're out back. Listen, I did what I thought was right.
We'll let it go this time. Just don't make a habit of it.
Thank you, officer.
Well, Frank, what do you think?
Kind of gives the phrase, time to hit the hay, a whole new meaning, huh?
Let's go, Frank.
As Frank and I headed around to the stable, I got a strange feeling. Call it cop's intuition, maybe a sixth sense.
Frank thought it was the PETA.
Whatever it was, I'll never forget the feeling. We ran into some of the same shepherds that we had seen earlier. A couple of them had sheep.
Okay, what's going on here?
Shh! You'll wake the baby.
Sorry. Where are the parents?
Over there, next to the manger.
Look. Look, Joe. They laid the baby in a manger.
I see that, Frank. Let's go talk to Dad. You the father?
Yes, sir. Well, I mean, that's my wife, Mary.
You got a name, son?
Joseph, Nazareth. I help you officers with something?
We're investigating 4739.
4937, Joe.
Whatever. A disturbance of angelic origin outside of town. Do you know anything about that?
Well, no, as you can see, we're rather preoccupied tonight.